We're making masks.
Some of you may have heard of the artist Pablo Picasso. He started out training in a traditional sense, so he was a very good artist. But the older he got, he started experimenting with changing the way that things were supposed to look into a more expressive ways. So we're going to look at some of his faces that he created. You can see here's one. As you see, he's not really putting things in their proper place on the face, but he's putting them in different places, and he uses a lot of shapes and color that are bright and unique. That one's a little funny. That's a different one of him. Anyway, I don't even know what this is supposed to be. Does anybody know what that's supposed to be? A fish eating a person? So something that Pablo Picasso said, here's an illustration of him. Something that he said as he got older, he said, as for me, what saves me is the fact that I get worse every day. This is a collage that he made that is supposed to be a guitar. But it's just some string tied to a board with a little dab of paint at the back. Hopefully you guys can see that pretty well. Not really. There we go. So, there you go, Pablo Picasso. So, the materials you'll need, you won't need a cat. Say hello. Hello. Hello, kitty. Say hello to the camera. This is Berlioz, or we call him BB for short. He wants to be in the middle of my project today. Hello, buddy. Alright, here comes the cat. Alright. Okay, what you will need for today's project is a pair of scissors, or your parents can use an X-Acto knife. You also need a pencil and some markers in different colors. You will also need a piece of cardboard, actually several pieces of cardboard. And I'm going to cut mine with an X-Acto knife. But if you're at home, you can either, and if you're old enough, with your parents' permission, you can use some heavy-duty scissors to cut your cardboard. Or if your parent is nearby to help, you can draw shapes and then let your parent help you cut it out. I'm going to start cutting out my head. If you would like and you want your mom to cut it out for you or your dad, you can draw the shape that you want it to be on your cardboard first and then hand it over. That's kind of the shape that I want, so I'm going to start cutting that out. Now that I've got my general face shape cut out, I'm going to start working on all of the other shapes that I want to put on my face. Okay, so I have a nice assortment of shapes and they're all cut out. So now I'm going to start placing them on the face and see what I can make it look like. And like I said, your plan can change from what you started with. Oh, it looks like a cheek. Got my lips here. Eyebrow. Oh, that looks kind of cool. I ran out of some of the shapes that I want to have, so I'm going to cut a couple more out. Okay, at this point you guys can decide what you would rather do first. You can either glue it down right now like it is and color it second, or you can color it first and then glue it down. I'm going to color mine first and then glue it down because I am worried that I might make a mistake and then it'll already be glued and so there's nothing I can do about it. So I'd rather color mine first and then glue it down. So you guys, if you have a color that isn't showing up very well on your cardboard, maybe it would be a good time to pull out the oil pastels that we used from last week and use some of those because they're a little bit brighter. So this color is a little bit darker than I thought it would be, but again, I can use my oil pastels and maybe add some designs so that it'll brighten it up a little bit. I'm going to draw squiggles on this one. I'm using oil pastels for my eyeballs to cover up the brown cardboard behind it. If you don't have oil pastels, you could also use crayons or paint. There's my eyes. Oh, I was going to show you, you don't always have to do white eyes. You could do something kind of funny, like maybe some blue eyes. And with a dark blue center. That's crazy, huh? They don't even match. Let's do this. That ear looks a little bit like Mr. Potato Head, doesn't it? Well, what color nose should I do? I think I'm just gonna put some nostrils on my nose and color it orange. I like orange. See how this looks. Okay, now it is ready to glue. Get out your Elmer's glue and start to glue it down. Now I just need to wait for it to dry. Ta-da, there's my face.